Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Asian Indices report for the 14th of December, and starting with the ASX200 here. We are in a downtrend, as you can see, but we're experiencing rallies, and we're trying to find the tops of those rallies. So for the ASX here, I've got two counts coming to the downside. One is where we have wave 2 here, and we have wave 1 here with an A and a B and a C wave here, and the C wave would still need to come up into this space here before moving down. The other count that I've got here, which I think is probably a little bit more accurate, is wave 1 here and wave 2 here, with an ABC up to where we need to be. The top here is right on the 61.8%. But my problem here is that the move down that we're seeing here is not in 5 waves yet. It's in 3 waves, so I can't call it in. So on the 1 hour chart here, I've got wave 1 here, wave 2, 3, all the way for 4 here and 5 here. And this here is an A and a B and a C for the A wave, the B wave, and 5 waves up for the C wave here at the 61.8%. But like I mentioned, I don't have a clear 5 waves down, so in fact it looks more like an ABC correction here. It would still need to be an A wave here, a B wave here, then perhaps the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4 and the 5 here. So look, it really would need to come down for this to technically, for this to fail and be a bear market. It would need to break the bottom of this B wave here. Okay, so that means that we need 5600 as the retested resistance. I know that if I had 5 waves here, I'd get another 5 waves over here, but I still need to see like another 5 on top of that. So I'm just not quite sure if we've got one more little push up into this area here and then down, or we're going to be coming down from here. But what I can say is that this technically here is important. So the 56 as a retested resistance would be on the downside here, would be the bear market there. So that's about all the best I can do on that. I can look at CBA as well, because we've been tracking that. So we've been looking at CBA. It pulled up to its wave 4 here at the 38.2% retracement level, and then it appears that we do have 5 waves down here, and then we were looking for a wave 2 to come back into the 61.8%. So that's also at its turning point here. So if we can just drill in here for a moment, just on the 1 hour chart, we're looking at 5 waves coming down here. We were looking for our retracement, so we're right on at that point there. So it can now turn lower as well. I know this wave 4 can get a bit more complicated, but as I mentioned, it has pulled back to its 38.2% retracement level here, but the wave 4 of one lesser degree is actually higher here. So I need to be mindful if we've got an A here and a B here and a C here for this market. Just on the tick chart here, just drilling in, this has been our move here. So we've had these 5 waves down through here, and then we were looking for it to pull back into the 61.8% at around 71 there. So it's done that. So it would be interesting to see what we get today. If it is bearish today and we come under the 70 here, then it's fine. I mean, it'd have to sort of come to, whoops, I can't draw on this side, I have to come over to this side. So it would, if it came down to the 70, it would bounce off it, and then it would come through it. Okay, so then it comes back and tests it. Then that would be our entry point here, once we have our reference point low in here. And if that's breached, then we've got ourselves a short trade here. Okay, so that may not come until Monday, I don't know, just depends on how the market moves. We need to see the S&P 500 basically move down too. The S&P 500 is in the same situation that we're talking about with the indices here. So with the rest of Asia here, starting with China here, we were looking at China working into a triangle pattern here. As I mentioned, this move down through, we're looking for an A wave, a B, a C, a D, and an E here. So we're really on track here. One of the situations here though is that this move down through here looks rather impulsive, so I think that we actually could have this as wave 1 here and coming back for wave 2, but and that would be in line with the Hong Kong market, which we'll look at next. But it doesn't really matter as such. We're just looking at looking for a setup in here now. So I'll just go to the 1 hour chart and pick this up within this space here. So from wave D here, or I need to put wave 1 here as well, and coming up here for wave 2. So an ABC for the A wave and the B wave here, and then 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we're still 1 wave short here for this market anyway, by the looks of it. I could be wrong. We could have wave 1 here and 2 here and 3 and 4 here and 5 here. But because this is so strong here, it's got the personality of a third wave. So I think we've got one more to move up into that space there. So we need to be a little bit mindful of that. So not quite ready to short these markets just yet, but we're close and we've been patient. So the Hong Kong market, we were looking at an A wave here, B wave here, and a C wave up here, which we got most of this right, and the turn here, and then we're looking for 5 waves down here, and now we're looking for this market to pull back into this box, which it has done. This is also part of this trend line from this low through here, and quite often it comes back and retests that. The same with triangle patterns too. They normally have their apex top come in too when that finishes here. So it's always good to know that with triangle patterns. But still, we're on this track here. Once again, we could have this. I'm just not quite sure yet. We don't have the turn in place. I want to see how this reacts. This is a really important number here, the 2650. It's halfway between 2 important levels, which is the 25 and the 28. This is a medium level here, and the 28 is just a minor level. But this is just a really important level here. So I just want to see how this tops out around here. If China's got one more move up, then this will have one more move up as well. So yeah, not quite ready to short this, but I've got this trend line here which gives us a bit of space here. So if this becomes the retested resistance here at any stage, it will come down, bounce off it, come through and then retest it, and then we'll have our short trade here. Okay, so that's how you'd short that here. So we'll just leave that in play here and allow this top to play out here, because this move up here, even though I've got it as corrective, it can be counted as bullish, but because we've got, well, looking at this as 5 waves down, then we should be seeing, you know, the next move come into play here. But we need the US to roll over, so it's all eyes on the US at the moment. And Japan's the same as well, in that it's moved higher here. So we've been looking at 5 waves down, but in this case we've got the extension in wave 1 and then 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here. So yeah, this corrective move can be counted in a couple of different ways, and I don't have 5 waves here. I've just got 3 waves. Yes, it could turn into 5 waves, but even if it does, I mean, it still could have one more move up here. But if it does move down here in 5 waves, then we'll catch it on the on the rebound here through just by simply putting a line through here. So yeah, we just need this to fall into place. We don't particularly, you know, fighting a trend to the upside can be dangerous, so we really need to gather some evidence that we're actually, you know, ready to short this. So we need a few things to fall into place now. And the Nifty is well, different actually, and I've changed the count here somewhat, so I'll just come back here a little bit. I've gone to our alternative count where we've had this as wave B here. So we had this up here as an A wave, a B wave and a C wave here. So I've just gone to our alternative count where we had this B wave here, because we've still got 5 waves here. It's just that this move up here is looking rather impulsive. So yeah, so I've just moved it to our alternative count in this case. So we need to see this move here. I mean, it could still be the original count, but it's moved past its 61.8% retracement level compared to this move down here. So we'll look at this as 5 waves to the upside, and it can pull back up to 11,100 here. That's how high it can go. So just on the 1 hour chart here, I'm counting this up as 1 here and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here, and still to move to go up into this space here. I mean, if I'm wrong and this is just an A and a B and a C that's pulled up quite high, because technically it would have to take, it can come up to 1 point within this wave B here and still be an A, B, C here, but it's got to have the right look and feel about it, so it looks more impulsive. We know that India is a strong market, so we need to go with that strength, and we certainly need real evidence of a turn and an impulse wave to the downside to tackle this market on the short side. So we need to be really mindful of that. So, what we do want to see either from here or here, we want to see 5 waves down, and then we want to see 3 waves back up, and then we can look to short through here in a way, but we just don't have that just yet. And like I mentioned, we need the US to roll over, and there could be one more little move up on the US market as well, but the NASDAQ looks ready to roll over. Okay, yeah, just to sum up, we just need a little bit more evidence in some of these markets to navigate the turn in a safe manner. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the weekend. Cheers.